Good morning. Today we'll be taking some very important problems of exercise 7.2. Now let's start with question number 30. It says that we have to find the integral of sin x over 1 plus cos x into dx. It's a very simple straightforward question. You simply put clearly the derivative of the denominator is given in the numerator, so you put the denominator, that is 1 plus cos x as t, we get minus sin x dx as dt, and so I becomes equal to minus of dt over t, which is minus of log t plus c, and so the answer is minus of log of 1 plus cos x plus c. We can even absorb this minus sign and write the answer as log of 1 upon 1 plus cos x plus c. Both ways of reporting the answer are correct. Same way, question number 31, you make the similar substitution and do the needful. Now let's come to question number 32. Extremely important question. And it's a question where we need to use a slight trick. Now, I is equal to 1 over 1 plus cot x into dx. Now, obviously, I have told you earlier also, whenever in doubt or whenever we are given a function other than sine and cos, and where you can't apply direct results, we will always convert to sine and cos. So let's see, let's convert to sine and cos. What do we get? 1 plus cos x over sine x into dx. Simplifying, we get sine x over sine x plus cos x into dx. Now let's see the difference between these two questions. Here, if we had assumed the denominator to be t, we could directly get the derivative in the numerator and we could solve it. But here in this question, if you put the denominator as t, you will get cos x, which is not present here, plus sin x, which is present. So now how do we distribute this? How do we go about it? We don't get the derivative, like the derivative is not this part only, you get more than this part in the derivative. So what we do it in this question and similar questions, we make this change. And what is that change? We write this as sin x plus cos x. Instead of only sin x, we will write sin x plus cos x, means base plus sin x minus cos x. Now what do we gain from this and why have we written this? Instead of only sin x, what we do is we write sin x plus cos x plus sin x minus cos x. Now again, if you just simplify it, this cos x and this cos x gets cancelled. You are left with 2 sin x, but we were given only a single sin x, so we will write it as half. Now writing in this manner, we have not made any change to the given function. We have only written in a form convenient to us. Now what is the use and what is the benefit of doing this way? See, now just observe carefully. This, you can split the numerator. One term would be this sin x plus cos x over sin x plus cos x is 1. Plus you get sin x this dx plus integral of sin x minus cos x over sin x plus cos x. Okay, so into dx. Very obviously here, if you put this as t, the derivative is what? Cos x minus sin x, which is a part of this one, and we can solve it further. So what do we get? I is equal to, this gets directly solved as x plus, in this case you put sin x plus cos x as t. This comes out to be cos x minus sin x into dx as dt. So it implies that we need sin x minus cos x. So sin x minus cos x into dx is equal to minus dt. Okay, so here you get minus, and here this becomes dt over t. This can be easily solved, and so you get half of x, half is common to both, minus this becomes log of t plus c. I becomes half of x minus log of, you replace back this t in terms of x, you get sin x plus cos x modulus, and you get plus a constant, which is the answer. Okay, so this way we are able to solve this question. This cannot be done directly, but by simply making slight change here, that is by writing sin x as sin x plus cos x plus sin x minus cos x and making it half, because now sin x becomes twice, we can solve this question. So question number 33 is exactly on the same lines. When you solve this, it becomes what? This is given to be 1 minus tan x dx. On simplifying, it gives you cos x over cos x minus sin x dx. It's a question similar to this one, where we had sin x over sin x plus cos x. So what we do here is, we will be writing it as, we want one term as cos x minus sin x. So cos x minus sin x, plus you write another term as cos x plus sin x whole upon cos x minus sin x dx. Now this sin x and this sin x gets cancelled, and this cos x becomes twice, so you have to make it half, and then you split the numerator and do exactly in this manner. This gives you 1 whose integral is x, and this gives you, this is the function whose derivative is in the numerator, so log of this function will be you will get, and you can which can be clearly solved. Okay, can be solved like above. Okay, now we come to the next question, that is another important question, which is question number 34. This one is extremely important and something which you have to always keep in mind. This question says that square root of tan x dx upon sin x cos x. Now observe carefully the denominator. Whenever, now this is a rule which you have to keep in mind, whenever you get product of sine and cos function in any power, okay, in the denominator of an integral, we will always multiply. Obviously we can't only multiply, so we have to also multiply and divide the denominator by cos x. This is extremely important. Okay, so now we see how it helps us. What have we seen? We have got a question where a question is something like integral of root of tan x upon sin x cos x into dx. Okay, now we say basically this may or may not be there. Basically what we have to be bothered with is this one, that is a product of sine and cos in odd powers of x, basically odd powers if it is present, okay, of x. Here it is single powers, and if it is present in odd powers, then we do this. Okay, so what we do is we have to multiply and divide the denominator by cos x. So let's see how it helps us. I is equal to root tan x over sin x cos x into cos x upon cos x. Okay, out of this part makes it cos squared x, which goes to the numerator and becomes x squared x, and this part makes it tan x. So this becomes I is equal to root tan x over tan x into sec squared x dx. 1 upon cos squared x becomes sec squared x, and this sin x upon cos x becomes tan x. This can be easily solved. This is sec squared x dx upon root of tan x. Obviously we know that the derivative of tan x is sec squared x, which can be easily solved. So now make substitution. Put tan x as t. We get sec squared x dx is dt, and so I becomes equal to dt upon t raised power half, which can be written as t raised power minus half dt, which can be written as t raised power half over half plus c. Substituting back, we get 2. T is tan x, and so we get tan x raised power of half plus c, or you can write it as 2 under root of tan x plus c is the answer. So this is a rule which you have to keep in mind always. Okay, now the next question which in the exercise is question number 35. It's a basic question, can be done very easily. What is it? I is equal to 1 plus log x whole squared over x. Very obviously, if you put the inner function as t, 1 upon x dx gets absorbed, and this can be solved. Okay, so put 1 plus log x as t, and rest you can solve it. 1 upon x dx is dt, and it can be solved as I is equal to t squared dt, which is t cube over 3 plus c, which is 1 plus log x whole cube 1 upon 3 times this plus c. Now let's come to the next one, that is question number 36. It says that I is equal to x plus 1 x plus log x whole squared whole upon x into dx. On the first look, this question looks very complicated, but we don't have to get perturbed just by looking at the question. We will slowly deal with it step by step, and it will automatically give you the answer. Now, since it's a product as well as quotient of functions, first thing which we will notice it is function of a function. This is a function of a function, and by default what we do is we always put the inner function as t. Let's put that and see what shape it takes. So put the inner function is x plus log x as t. On differentiating, you get 1 plus 1 upon x into dx is dt. Can we simplify it further? Let's see. What do we get? This becomes x plus 1 over x into dx as dt. So very clearly we see that this whole thing gets absorbed in dt. And so a question which looked so difficult by the first look of it, it is an extremely simple question. So the ground rule is you don't have to get perturbed just by looking at the question. Just deal with it step by step, and automatically you will get the answer. So let's see what we get. We get I is equal to, the question was x plus 1 into log x plus x whole square over x into dx. We had put this part as t, and this whole thing got absorbed in dt. So what do we get? I is equal to, this is t squared and this whole thing got absorbed in dt. Now simply you write it as t cube over 3 plus c, and so the answer becomes 1 upon 3 x plus log x whole cube plus c. Now the next one is 37th, which is x cube sine of tan inverse x4 whole upon 1 plus x raised by 8 dx. Again, it looks to be a very difficult question, but again, ground rule, let's do it step by step. Try to look for a function which is function of a function, and out of this the inner function is this one. So now let's put this as t. So what do we get? Tan inverse x raised by 4 as t. Differentiating, we get 1 upon 1 plus this square, so x raised by 4 whole square, into derivative of x4 is 4x cube into dx is dt. So what does this become? 4x cube over 1 plus x raised power of 8 into dx is dt. So very obviously this whole thing, x cube over 1 upon x raised by 8 dx gets absorbed in dt, and directly we get the answer as I is equal to sine of t into dt, and which is such a simple thing. Now a question which looked so difficult now has got converted to such a simple form, whose integral is minus cos t plus c. Replacing back in terms of x, we get minus of cos of, now t is tan inverse x raised power of 4 plus c, which is, no, 1 upon 3 is also, 1 upon 4 is also there, because this is dt upon 4. So this becomes 1 upon 4 sine t dt, which is 1 upon 4 minus 1 upon 4 cos t dt, and this becomes minus 1 upon 4 cos of tan inverse x4 plus c. Now question number 38 is directly can be done by simple substitution, though again this looks very difficult. That is 10 times x raised by 9 plus 10 raised by x log to the base e in log of 10 to the base e into dx whole upon x raised by 10 plus 10 raised by x. So clearly, though it looks complicated, but it's a very simple direct application. Put 10 x raised by 10 plus 10 raised by x as t. The numerator is nothing but the derivative of the denominator. So we get derivative of 10 x raised by 10 is 10 x raised by 9 plus derivative of 10 raised by x is 10 raised by x log 10 to the base e whole into dx plus is equal to dt, and then you can easily solve it. So which can be easily solved. Okay, now simply substitute and get the result. Now we come to another extremely important question, that is question number 39. This is dx over, it's a very simple question if you know the trick, otherwise you will keep on going on and on, it will be very difficult to solve. Now here in this case, see, the first thing is that you write it as cosec squared x into sec squared x into dx, but then you don't know what to do about it. Now, so this question in particular has to be done in such a manner. We know that this is 1 dx, and we know that sin squared x plus cos squared x is 1. So we simply replace this by 1 dx and 1 can be written as sine squared x plus cos squared x into dx. Now simply open the brackets and you get it as sine squared x upon this will give you, sine squared x gets cancelled, 1 upon cos squared x, which is sec squared x, plus cos squared x upon this. In this case, cos squared x gets cancelled and you're left with cosec squared x, whose result is directly known to you, and so you get I is equal to integral of sec squared x is tan x plus integral of cosec squared x is minus cot x, and plus a constant of course has to be added, and with this exercise is over. Thank you.